SportsCenter with Jay Onrait as Jalen Hurts gets the better of Patrick Mahomes on Monday Night Football. Eagles come away with the victory. KC, we talked about it with Luke, 26 drops this season. That is the most of the National Football League, and there were 3 big ones on the final drive by KC that prevented them from coming back and winning this thing. Philly hosts the Bills this week. The Chiefs are in Las Vegas. For more reaction on this Eagles win at Arrowhead, here's Farhan Lalji at Arrowhead. And DeVonta Smith, incredible 6 catches for 99 yards. Was he the difference maker, in your opinion, Farhan, for the Eagles in this one?
Well, he was at the end of this game along with Jalen Hurts, of course. Now, early in the game on the first play from scrimmage for Philadelphia, he did manage to catch a pass on a bootleg for 20 yards. But then after that, the Kansas City defense just absolutely owned Smith and A.J. Brown. And you know how we do this? There's time left, and we think we've got the storyline, and the Chiefs are ahead. So I was going to just gush about Kansas City's secondary because they've been so good all season. They were so good for the bulk of this game. But then on that key touchdown drive the Eagles needed to take the lead, 3rd and 5, Hurts slides to his left, and he makes a completion to DeVonta Smith, and he had a defender on his back, but he makes the play. And then that 41-yard completion, again, with a defender on his back at the 1-yard line, was just an incredible play. So from Hurts' perspective and from Smith's perspective, just their ability, when everything's been going against them throughout this game, the conditions are bad, they stayed with it, they stayed resilient, and it almost flipped the script of last year's Super Bowl where it was Mahomes and the Chiefs that came back. Here, you could just see some momentum building. The Chiefs played with their foot a little bit too long, and Smith and Hurts made them pay.
And you kind of alluded to it, Farhan. We thought, as Patty Mahomes has time on the clock, and you're thinking he's coming back, they're going to win this thing. And yet, so many missed opportunities for KC, drops at the end. Was it just a matter of them not being able to execute?
Yeah, they had so many opportunities to put the Eagles away in this game. And you look at the interception that Mahomes threw in the end zone, and then Travis Kelce at the 8-yard line fumbles the football. Again, I mean, you're taking 3 or 7 points off the board. You make this a 2-score game in these conditions, and Philadelphia's not coming back at that point. It's just not working for them in the past game for them to get big chunks of yardage to overcome a 2-score deficit. So they let them hang around, and, you know, Luke talked about all those drops, and it's not just the drops, of which there were so many even in this game, but they're just not on the same page. And you see these moments where Mahomes scrambles, he keeps plays alive, and those receivers aren't on the same page in terms of trying to get open with him. That scramble drill where in the past he was always on the same page with everybody around him. Now defenders just lock up with Travis Kelce whenever Mahomes starts scrambling, and the other guys just seem lost out there from time to time. Kelce talked about this on his podcast earlier in the week, that this is not going well. They've got to get this figured out before things really go wrong. This was a blown opportunity for them, and it's just because, again, offensively, these guys just aren't on the same page like they have been in the past.
And the other guy with Travis Kelce on his podcast, his brother Jason Kelce, finally gets a win against the Kansas City Chiefs, Farhan.
Yeah, you know, you could tell that it meant a lot to him. You know, coming into this game, he was probably one of the guys that downplayed it the most. When you look at the Super Bowl last year, some of the other offensive linemen and others in that group talked about revenge from the Super Bowl. But he said, look, I just haven't beaten Andy Reid ever, and I've never beaten my brother ever. And so whether it was a Super Bowl or not, I mean, and understand that Reid coached Kelce early in his career when Reid was still in Philadelphia. So, yeah, it did mean a lot to him. I'm not sure if Donna was out here with the split jersey getting pictures and things like that. We know that Taylor Swift wasn't out here, which might have contributed to Travis not having as good of a game because we know the numbers have changed this year when Taylor's in the building. But as far as Jason Kelce, I think he's going to have a lot of fun on this week's podcast, Jay.
I think you're absolutely right. And Andy Reid, by the way, just his 4th loss ever coming off a bye. Farhan Lalji, you're the best. Thanks for this.
All right, buddy.
Here are your updated Super Bowl odds, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel. The Chiefs now tied with the Eagles for the shortest odds at plus 450. San Francisco, the 3rd choice at plus 480. The Ravens, first in the AFC now at 8-3. They have plus 850 odds to win the Lombardi Trophy.